Another day, another dollar, many dollars spent. So, just come back from a 140-mile return trip. And it seems that I have joined those mad people who run stretched tires. I'm not a fan, but as purchased with stretch. So these are 9J wide. That's quite wide. The wind is blowing, there's cars racing by. These are 9J wide and they've got 195 tires on. So as you can see, it's a pretty decent tread. Two will be replaced, but they're good enough, I think, for MOT standard. And yeah, you say, what are they? I'll just confess and say they are really dirty. You figure it out. I'm sure you will have by now. But we are about to unload. My laborer, Pedro from España, has come to help. Pedro from Spain. Hang on, Pedro, let's take it. Here you go, Spanish flag. That's because there's a hole in the jacket. And now we are unloading. Thanks, Pedro. What are they? BBSs. Ooh.
Garage?
1 garage, 3 kitchen. Because we're going to take a picture quickly for Paul Y. So yeah, there we go. All the madness. All the madness. You can see they need a shitload of work. Polishing, cleaning, clearing, etc. I think the snails had a good time, but you can see they have potential. And I like polishing turds, and I like things that have potential. They also don't have center caps, so if somebody's got some free of charge center caps, by all means, put them in the post, send them to me, they'll go on. These are 16-inch, and they're going on the Cube, if you haven't figured this one out. Wide, 9J. The Cube came out with 6J, even 5.5J. But we'll figure it out. Apparently there's no scientific proof that these can't be fitted. So yeah, rock and roll time. Weathers says we might even be welding today. I still haven't cut the beard off. It has to come off soon. There's a bit of sunshine again today, but not a lot. So yeah, I've been out. I'll probably break the ice on this one quicker than normal. I have a problem. I tend to listen to my friends. Well, I don't know if they're all friends, to be honest, but yeah, Paul Y made a suggestion. And I wouldn't say I disagree, but I kind of listened to him because I wanted to listen to him, I guess. That's how you do these things. But yeah, went out basically from here, from home out and back was about 140 miles return trip to go and fetch some wheels. They're completely wrong. Scientifically, the science apparently lies, according to the seller and my own research. But I'll show you what I got, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to them. You know what I'm going to do to them. I'm going to polish them, clean them, but it's going to be a big job. It's probably one of the bigger jobs that I've taken on ever. They're absolutely not my usual style because I prefer 3, 4, 5, 6 spoke rims, stuff that cleans easy with little detail that just shows a fair amount of sort of shine, I guess you could say. These are BBS replicas made by Dare, and they are 16-inch by 9J wide. If you consider that this little van started life on a set of, I'm going to think about this now, of 165/70 tires on a 5.5 or 6J, and I'm assuming the alloys that it's got on are probably a 6J alloy. I've gone from 6J to 9J. The offset on the on the little van is about 38. The offset on these wheels, as far as I know, is 25. They can be even less, but 25. The only reason I bought them, and there's literally the only reason, is because a lot of the BBS type wheels are not very deep dish. These are a little bit deeper dish, and there's enough space for me to get a shine and make them look nice. You know, if I look at this van, which is still here, you look at those wheels, I took a day to polish them, and they need cleaning again, but bottom line is, shiny wheels do look nice. So I will be cleaning these up the best I can. I think they've got clear lacquer on them as well, so it's going to be a bit of a complex-ish process. But yeah, let me show you what I've bought. I don't know, there's a saying in my mother tongue, which is you buy yourself a hole in the head. Maybe I've bought myself a hole in the head, I don't know. But we'll have a go and see if they work. If they don't work, somebody can buy some really nice shiny BBS rims in 16-inch and 9J wide with some tires on. So yeah, have a look. So these are them. 4 of them, obviously. When you look up close, you will see, looking at the detail. I'm not even sure how the hell I'm supposed to get those little, they're not Allen heads, they're a different type of stud. Apparently they can come off. I'd prefer to take them off so I can get to polishing everything. But there you go, they're also multi-fit. They do not have center caps, so I need to either make up some center caps or buy some. Hopefully I'll be able to find some at a sensible price. You'll see there's a bit of curb rash, but I can fix that. Just takes a bit of time. Everything takes a bit of time. Like I said, multi-fit. They stood outside for 10 years in the guy's garden after he took them off his previous vehicle. But if you look at the depth of this dish, that's what attracted me. That's the only thing that attracted me to them, is that they're a little bit show-offy. So yeah, first stop will be pressure cleaner, just literally clean as much as I can off them and see what we've got once I'm done. If you look at the backs of them, similarly, they are very, very grubby. I'm not going to do the same amount of work that I did, well, at the minute there's no plan, as what I did on those Land Rover Freelander wheels that were planned for the Oldsmobile. But I'm hoping that the pressure cleaner, which is ready and waiting, that will turn these into something less of a regret. Yeah. The other interesting thing I'll say is that these tires have significant stretch. They are 195 45 16s. The suggestion scientifically is that you don't stretch tires like this, but they also have an edge bead which is just about in line with the actual rim. So yeah, stretchy tires, not the way I'd normally go, but I'm hoping that it works on this little van. So let's get on with cleaning. That's going to take probably a couple of hours at least. And once I've done that, I've got to figure out how to strip if it's clear lacquer on them, because I'm wondering if it's clear lacquer that is degenerated like this. It almost looks like the snail's got to eat it, but I don't know whether it's that or what. But whichever way it goes, at the extreme end, I will take them and have them stripped chemically. But for the moment, I'm going to give it a go. Did I mention 4x100 or 4x108? So Ford and VW primarily, but obviously you can fit them onto anything with an adapter, or you can fit them onto anything where they fit. It's a bit like the Land Rover rims fitting onto the Oldsmobile. Let's get going. Right, I've scrubbed the backs with a half a bottle of elbow grease, which is a product I really enjoy using. It tends to really clean well and lifts away things like brake dust. Next job, spray this lot. I used an old broom, like a yard broom that had a snapped handle, for the scrubbing in the back, because obviously this stuff really sticks. So now try and clean all this stuff off a bit. Using a bit of elbow grease and a bit of elbow grease. That's the back's done, good enough. Right, now the fronts. This is the fun bit. Right, so what do you think? Improvement? These are the front tyres or front wheels because they've got so much more disc brake dust on them. And then we're going to obviously start on the other side. This is where the fun really kicks off. With the amount of stretch that these tyres have got, unfortunately, although the tyres have actually got a rubber rim, the rim protrudes by about 2 millimeters, if that. So stretch is good looking in certain sort of applications, but it's not that clever. You've got to be careful of everything that you come close to. So you can see this one I'll have to sit and hand. First of all, use a file just to get the profile and surface back to normal, then probably block it and eventually polish it back to normal. There's a bit of damage on that. But like I say, that's the other front one. So I'm putting them on a piece of wood, an old scaffolding board, just so that they don't grate themselves on there. But that's what it looks like on the rears. I think it's alright. Well, I wouldn't say they look new, but they probably look a bit better than I got them here this morning. So next job, pressure clean the fronts and then get on with my second bottle of elbow grease, which is hidden behind the camera here. I don't know where this stuff's available, but it's a UK product as far as I know. Could be anywhere else. Makes a massive difference. Somehow things like window moss, the green moss that grows on people's cars, window rubbers in this country, just comes off, and a variety of other sort of moss type growths, fungus growths, comes off. And then of course on your wheels, things like brake dust seems to lift it off a lot easier than just scrubbing with sort of soap and water. But yeah, elbow grease makes a difference, or at least it has to me. Right, next job, get to the front. First phase done. I've basically cleaned the backs and the fronts. I think they look a lot better. They're far from ready or right, but you can see those two were the fronts, so it's a bit more burning on the paint and really set brake dust and dirt. The two rear ones are a lot better than the fronts. They're going to need a lot of work. But I think we know by now. I wouldn't say it's my second name, but I'm certainly the king of polishers of turds. That's what these wheels look like from the front. See, tread-wise, there's some decent tread on there. And actually, I thought these were older than they are. But 40th week of 2020, so about 5 weeks, 5 years old, so that's not too bad. Obviously there's a shed load of polishing to go. The other important thing for me to do will be, not that I'm in the mood for it, but I'm going to have to do it. Try and find some center caps somewhere that'll go over them. They look sort of okay without the center caps, but actually they don't, because that center, the bearing caps stick out through the center, and the VW is a 57mm center bore. These are 72.1 millimeters, so I'm going to have to use quite a spigot ring to get them to fit. And if I can find some, actually come to think of it, if I've got the center caps, I don't really need to bother about pretty wheel bolts, but those would have been nice if I was to go without center caps. But I've made some center caps before. I might ask a certain Mr. Sparkplug to help if you can. If you can't, it's not a problem. We'll figure it out. But I'll definitely go and look on Alibaba and those places as well to see what's available to buy. But yeah, thanks for watching for the moment. I think that's about the story on the wheels. They're going to go back into storage for the moment. Now at least they're clean, and I might do, I don't know, it depends on how I feel. I'll try and polish one a day, because they're going to take a bit of time, and I don't have the little spanner to take those. They're not Allen heads. They're a different kind of an external grippy kind of thing, like, I don't know, a 10-sided, almost looks like they're gears, kind of gearing kind of fittings, but apparently they do come out, but you need a special spanner to take them out, I think. So I'd probably take them out, and then I can at least polish everything in between, because otherwise it becomes a real nightmare trying to polish between all of those small fittings. And of course, bitching and moaning about the weather. Weather is still doing this everywhere. There's wind, which is okay. I don't mind the wind too much. It doesn't help with welding because it blows the gas out of your contact space. But yeah, maybe it'll rain later on today. I don't know. Don't care. Right now, as always, it's coffee time. I haven't had a coffee for a while.